There you go, start recording. Nice. Yes, rest day. It's been rest day for the last year, but you know, like, I just needed a really, really big rest. What can I say? Like, so, I mean, the thing is, I think Solary had take this, to be honest. I mean, in terms of kind of ranks, though, I mean, the like red team do have some higher ranked players. Like they've got 418 LP, 261. But in general, I think it's gonna be more so a bit of a draft difference. I will admit. Damn, can't bet on these games. Yeah, imagine. I mean, the thing is, I don't know how much comp experience most people have got in this. I presume it's just going to be G2 Hell, just kind of running over everyone, but we'll see. Like, I feel like Kaltis is probably just going to have a bit of a mad one and just kill everybody, especially with things like Zeri being so heavily meta. Yeah, I genuinely think Kaltis is really good too. I think she was what like nearly 1,000 LP. I think she peaked like 950 or something like that. So I mean, really good player. Like I've only ever been against Kaltis once in Div 1 Denmark, and it was kind of rough. And the thing is, she plays a good Ezreal, in my opinion. Like, so with him being, yeah, when she was on Absolved, yeah. So with Ezreal being, you know, pretty bonkers right now with the mixed damage kind of buffs, we are going to see a banger. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she does just whip her out. It's a shame that this isn't on Tournament Realm, though. It would have been really fun if it was, but I guess it's fine. It's fine. No big deal. Righty. Okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna have to insert what's a video capture device? There we go. Whoa. I'll go down here. I'll just sit down here. There we go. There we go. Why is there a fucking advert for Amazon on my stream? Hey, how's it going, Samson? How you doing, man? I did see you've been absolutely smashing it lately. How's it going? So it can be a little bit difficult to get Tournament Realm. Like, you can't get it unless you're Division 2 or above, so you have to be ERL. So, I mean, but, like, you can just be, like, an analyst, and you get it as well. So, that's something. But I tried to win some games. Oh, hell yeah, man. Pop off. You got this. I mean, you still in Chal, or... Right, so the issue that we're gonna have with this game now is the like in terms of the damage split, the entire game is on this Jhin. Like if Jhin doesn't get super ahead early, then they're a little bit doomed, especially when they've got a Syndra that's just gonna be able to absolutely pop this Ahri at 6. And it's like Ahri wants to be like running around with the jungler, but I mean I don't think Maokai is the best jungler to be kind of running about with unless you're gonna just look to smash bots. So it's going to depend very heavily on... I'm so gutted they didn't lock in the blitz. I was lurking around and came across your stream. Maybe no, I am good. I do not need any graphics. I swear, graphic designers, like, messaging me everywhere at the moment has been an absolute plague. But you are more than welcome to stay. But no, I definitely do not need graphics, please. Tell me a Bonker Sidra build, D-Ring Tier, Ludens, Rabadon, Seraphs. Ooh, first blood already, okay. So this is like a bit of a counter matchup top lane, especially because his Silas is going to just yeet yeet the ult. So one of the big things that have actually changed lately is so previously it used to be that your minions would not touch in top lane until 32 seconds had passed, which considering they spawn every 30, it led to like a smaller window of opportunity compared to mid, where it's only 22 seconds for it to get to the mid stump at midway. But now they're the exact same on both, on like all three lanes. So top lane actually has the opportunity now to get that push in and then just go bot or mid, and it's like super oppressive. It's like really, really rough. Yeah. So the okay. Okay, Asher Ward, she's not taking any prisoners, clearly. Like, ooh, this is looking very rough. Ash of War as well is... They've only been playing Ornn in solo. I guess when you're an Ornn player, I suppose you do have to run into Malphites quite often, so I guess that's where her knowledge for the champs probably come from. But this is... See, I prefer Solary's draft, but like I said at the start, like, I think there is a quite big elo difference here, especially individually. You've got the 400 LP jungle and nearly 300 LP AD. And I mean, that's like 300 LP compared to D2, or 400 LP compared to D2 is such a huge jump that I think maybe solo kind of potential is just going to outweigh comp here. But let's see. So I'm going to mute that cast just because I don't want to, like, two things going over at once. But, so, I mean, we do have a really big back from Jhin. I mean, is she going to go IE? That's the thing. Let's have a look what items. Because, like, staying until that much gold indicates maybe she's just looking for IE, so she wants BF first reset. But we'll see. She should go Stormrazor, though, because Stormrazor is bonkers on Jhin. I think 45% movement speed is so disgusting. Yeah, I was very confused about the Malphite blind, especially when it's a... I said this at the start, especially when it's a Jhin as well, where you're not really going to get that value from kind of the consistent auto attacks that are provided by most ADCs in the current meta. I think maybe it was just a comfort pick in top, though. Let's have a look. No, not even that much of a comfort pick, but she does play things like Gragas. I can't remember if Gragas was open right now, but I would have much preferred Gragas here. It gives so much more engage onto the Jhin, and you can't really play the game too much if a cask is imminent. So a better blind as well. So I am a little bit confused why they didn't decide to go that. It might have been banned. I was sorting out my stream at the time, so that could be on me, but... here as well, like, it's... Oh, Noon Quiver. Okay. Like, so one of the things that I prefer with the current itemization of AD, like, she's definitely going into Stormrazor, but I much prefer going to Kerchi's Shard and Longswords, just because I think it provides more value than what Noon Quiver does on its own. Like, because on Jhin as well, it's like you don't really need bonus physical damage on hit against minions and monsters, since you're looking to reliably kind of farm with your Q, and ease as well, so a little bit interesting. Yeah, Stormrazor. It got buffed massively. I think it's either 45 or 40% movement speed now, which obviously is... So what you used to do on Jhin before this patch is you would go... oh yeah, 45% movement speed. So you'd go your boots first item, you'd go like Swifties, or I mean sometimes you go like Steel Cats or something like that. But now you don't really need them because you can just go straight to Stormrazor, and that gives the movement speed that you need to force shot. So it's much better. They did just concede a kill on mid lane though. I mean, if this Syndra does get really ahead, maybe she can make up the damage. But the thing is as well, Silas can't really use Syndra's ult as effectively, so that's kind of... That could be one really big advantage that they might have this game, to be honest. Yeah. Stuns after stuns after stuns. All the stuns. Yeah. This is the thing, though. Like, it becomes a little bit more rough for... So we do have boots coming through on Zeri. I'm very interested to see where the Zeri goes with... her itemization though, purely because hey, thanks, Steam, I do. I mean, I do need to stream more, to be honest. Like, now that I'm in a better job, it's a lot easier. Like, my previous job was like 35, 40 hours a week of like contact time. This one is like 14, so I still have to keep up with like work commitments, but I get more free time to actually do fun things, which is good. Um, so yeah, I don't know what this box in the bottom left is. Like, what I think they've they've kind of messed it up and gone. Oh no, there we go. I guess they've just messed up their proportions. Okay, potato claws. I mean, that's such a banging name, though. Let's be honest. Like, I've got to admit, out of all, I think potato claws definitely takes name of the game. But like, I'm one of the big concerning things here though is like, as Jin into Zeri, like, you need to be getting more advantages early because you're a champion that's a lot more oppressive early into Zeri, and we have the Sheen coming through, so we are actually going to see the Trinity Force out of Zeri, which I really like to see this item. So the reason why Trinity Force has become so unbelievably kind of good is previously it was, ooh, okay, nice can come mid, but not really going to get anything. Like, they don't really have the potential. I guess they get Ari Ultimate, which is something, but yeah, the reason why Trinity Force used to get very overshadowed by Kraken Slayer, but now Kraken Slayer has been like nerfed quite heavily by being basically relegated to a legendary item instead of a mythic. Now you end up in a position where Trinity Force kind of fills the gap that Kraken Slayer has left. So you get champions like that kind of use abilities, and some that don't. Some, it's either champions that use abilities, like you've got things like Lucian and Zeri as well because of a Q class and as a proc in Trinity, kind of like Ezreal. But then you've also got champions as well like Kai'Sa and Ashe, who rely on just kind of running like the enemies down constantly. They also benefit really heavily from it. One thing that you can also do as well is when you go, ooh, okay, really big fight, but I mean the Sylas is just Giga ahead. He's just gonna kill everybody. He gets a really good ultimate from from the Zeri as well because it's really high magic damage, so it's really good for him. There's actually a massive amount of value for him for most ults in this game, except for Syndra and Vi. I mean, but the thing with Sylas here is if he does get far enough ahead, then he can actually utilize Vi's ultimate because they might not have enough damage to kill him, but he'd have to get very, very, very ahead. Like, Sylas needs to be a few more kills up before that. Going into Roa, though, which I guess is fine. I mean, like, maybe the Sylas could have gone, like, full damage as well. Like, maybe, like, a Ludens would have been fun to watch. Like, it wouldn't have been better, I don't think, but it might have been fun, just to see that kind of one-shot potential, but I think it's fine. So another thing that you can do as well with Trinity Force that a lot of people are really sleeping on at the moment is because it amplifies your base AD. You also have Sterak's, which is kind of, usually you'd only go at bruises, right? But if you go Trinity and it raises your base AD, your Sterak's also raises base AD. So you end up getting more out of that combo of the two items. Now you wouldn't get Sterak's until like super late, but if you're going for like a 5th or 6th defensive item, Trinity Force actually opens up that window for Sterak's, which I think is a little bit underrated at the minute. I think because the shield that you get from it as well is incredibly good because it's just a straight shield. So one of the big things with the meta at the moment, which is a little bit of a struggle for most, is that a lot of the damage being mixed right now, it's really difficult to itemize. So you either go into items give both resistances like Radiant Virtue, stuff like that, or you go things like Gargoyles, which give you that kind of huge shield. So Sterak's also kind of fits that. Like, you do see in things like Kog'Maw at the minute as well, like you do go things like Gargoyles and stuff like that. So the really kind of big ADCs in the current meta do tend to go with things like that. So we're probably not going to see it because it's not really as known. I mean, I probably need to test it a bit more myself, but the one thing that people don't realize as well is Sterak's actually gives 25% tenacity when the shield pops. So that becomes really, really good if you, say, go for Berserker Greaves on a champion, because you're still going to get tenacity, which I mean, if they had a more conventional AD, or like they had a 24 AD here, it would have been good. They have gone with Stormrazor though, which again, really, really good on Jhin. This is a huge power spike for the Jhin. So this is the point where they need to now be looking to rotate with Jhin as much as possible and just kind of try and push a really, really big lead. Silas's TP is coming up soon too, so they can also look to be quite aggressive soon. It might be very explosive in the next, I'd say, 5 minutes. I think this is where the game is going to be either decided or just lost entirely. In terms of, I mean, Syndra is fairly big, but again, CS deficit into an Ahri lane, which a little unusual, especially considering they did manage to 3-man this Ahri quite early into the game as well, so a little bit concerning, but should be fine. We do have the Everfrost out of Ahri too, which again, I feel like there is going to be a slight lack of damage from this team. Maokai Rish Mandate, ooh, so I guess they're going AP Maokai to try and make up, but the issue that we have here is they're going into an AP Malphite itemization, but that doesn't really work too much because they got Aftershock. So the whole appeal to AP Malphite is what you do is you take First Strike and you just absolutely litter the entire jungle with saplings, and then every time your sapling jumps on somebody and pops, depending on the kind of state of the game or the time frame of the game, you'll always get that First Strike proc, so you end up with a massive amount of free gold, which allows you to itemize into more expensive AP items later on. Let me move this down just a... So, there's a lot on my roof in this, isn't there? Oh, there we go. So... yeah, we'll see. I mean, in general, like, I think the Silas is just huge. Yeah, I mean, Karthus again, yeah, another user of just popping First Strike and going nuts. Let me maybe make this camera just a little bit smaller, just so that we can see CS. I mean, I might be a little bit small, but it's okay. Okay, I can't have that overlapping. There we go. Nice. I mean, like, so the thing with Karthus, what you look to do is you always look to get an ultimate down, like, before. So, say, for example, I mean, the ultimate, let me get the exact, I think it's like a 5-minute cooldown, right? Let me just find exact. Yeah, 200-second cooldown. So let's say, for example, you know that the next objective isn't going to come up for like 220 seconds. What you can do is you can just ult as Karthus just to get your First Strike gold and kind of push yourself ahead and chunk lanes a little bit, even if you're not going to go for a fight. And then that allows you to continue farming your jungle without actually impacting, or sorry, without getting on the map as easy, but you still get that First Strike gold and you still have the cooldown up for a major objective. So it's not too bad to spam it. At certain times, you just have to really know your timings of it, and it's completely fine. We might actually... Ooh, actually, no. Karina's not playing today, I don't think. I saw a Twitter post that they subbed her out. So she's not actually playing today. But if she was, then we'd maybe see a Karthus today, but she's not. So... again, so, and this is the thing, like, Zeri is still very sleeper at the moment. I think a lot of people haven't quite caught on yet about Trinity Force build. So, you know, as soon as she actually finishes this item, now Trinity Force is a very expensive item, but when she finishes it, that's when they're gonna, oh, this is a really big catch. Like, walking to get vision in that area without actually without taking into consideration where they were is really, really bad. Also, I've just realized it'd be nice if I could use like Epic Pen and stuff, but I can't because I'm using a clean feed. I can maybe go over it after. What we might do is just between games we'll do a little bit of a review. But then I can't record that too. Okay, I can. I can. I am going to use Streamlabs at the same time. So, I mean, the issue that we currently have for Solary in this game as well is the champions that like SEA have gone with, things like the Jhin. They can do a lot of damage from a very long distance. Like for example, Jhin in this fight is just gonna look to like pop ult, look to ult everybody down, and then as soon as all of his ult damage has gone off, then you just kind of run up and start cleaning up with your full autos and Gale Force. Now, Gale Force at the minute is unbelievably broken. Like I've had a lot of people messaging me saying like, "Oh, Gale Force is really bad now. Gale Force doesn't really do anything." But Gale Force is actually unbelievably busted at the minute. Like it does so much damage now. It's crazy. 400% crit scaling is mental, mental. So it just gets even better throughout the game. Okay, so a little bit of an itemizational error as well. Vi opted to go into Black Cleaver first, but their Maokai is building tank. So it's kind of a bit awkward going there. The Maokai is building AP, sorry, not tank. So it's a little bit awkward. Ari has her needlessly large rod now. That's probably going to go into a Shadow Flame just because she's against a Lulu who's going to be shielding. So a huge amount of value from that, and Vi also. So she does get massive amounts of value from that. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't think she's going to go. So the thing is with Syndra, I don't mind Shadow Flame as much because when you kind of get your ult off, you're always going to drop them below 1k HP, and it allows you to get closer to your executes when you have all of your shards. So it's not too bad. Maybe it would have been beneficial for it to go Rabadons, but it's not the worst. I can see it being okay, but the issue that we're currently going to have is Yukiko isn't going to be able to do all that much this game whatsoever, just because like they're incredibly AP based, like, and even the 1 AD champion that they do have can't really play against Malphite. So like if this Malphite was changed for like, I think she plays on, but it was, oh no, she doesn't play on, she plays Gragas. Yeah, so if it was changed for like the Gragas, then it'd be okay. But yeah, I mean, we'll soon see. The sad thing here is that Syndra is really head, and I think the comp is really nice in general. Besides that Malphite, but the Silas is so unbelievably strong right now that it's going to be a little bit awkward for them to really do that much. On Gragas was banned. Okay, I didn't actually see the bans. I was so on stream. I mean, if her own Gragas was banned though, like even going with someone like the Poppy or the Garen, but again, I don't know if she plays anything else, but. So, trading gold over to the Zeri is definitely really good. I would have liked to see Lulu back away so that the Zeri got full local gold for that tower, but I guess they're a bit too scared. In general, so Lulu has rushed the Ardents, which a little bit of Mako tech. Ardent obviously got huge buffs, which again, it's the issue with Ardent, which makes it really rough, is people don't realize it's because it's a passive item compared to other like support items that are kind of really good, even things like the like redemption or like the mythic items, or even things like Knight's Vow, where you can kind of you can see the stats a bit easier on what it provides. It's kind of big, but we do have this 2-item spike coming through for this area at the moment, so that is going to be really big. Again, though, we have Jhin on 2 items also. Maokai is still going with the Radiant, so I guess she's supplementing Demonic with Mandate for kind of the previous kind of old Maokai build, but I think in this kind of game, especially when the Silas gets so far ahead, I think you just ditch going AP whatsoever, and just go for, like, the Dark Seal is still good, especially because if she gets to upgrade this Dark Seal into a Medjai's, then she's going to get a massive amount of movement speed, which is really, really good for Maokai, because you can get in range for the W without needing to ult, and you can potentially separate their entire team like that. So that can be really big, but we'll soon see. In terms of overall gold, I mean, it's not that far apart. Now, if this was like LCK, then like a 3k gold deficit would definitely be quite impactful, but with the scaling that they have in this team and the focus of where the gold is, like the Syndra does have opportunities to kind of peel the Sylas away from her, which is really good, but we'll see where that goes anyway. They're going for the dragon, obviously a fairly slow dragon, but they're very happy with them walking in like this, and a really big ultimate from the Sylas. Yeah, this fight's really, really doomed for the side of Solary. There's not really much they can do there. Like, Sylas is literally using Malphite's own better, and so in this situation, instead of looking to contest this dragon when you've got a Maokai already on it, you should just look to get Prio through lane so that they can't just start Baron like this. This kind of like a lack of, it shows a slight lack of competitive experience, I'd say, just because like knowing when to contest or just trade is a huge thing that you have to learn through kind of early stages of competitive play. You can't really just force objectives when you really don't have the tools to fight them. So a little bit awkward because they don't get to control their lanes either in this situation. And again, I think Sylas is just really taken off. But again, it was an R5 pick, and it's got such huge value. I mean, good draft though. Like, it wasn't looking too hot for them, I'd say, until we saw this Sylas come in, and then it makes a lot more sense. We do have a bit of a vision kingdom in the bot lane though. We're quite ahead in terms of vision control on this Lulu, which is a good sign. But let's see what they're going to go with now. Syndra is now going into a Rabadons, which again, like classic at the minute, mid lane itemization, like Luden, Shadow Flame, Rabadons, Void Staff, like this gets taken so often at the moment. But we might actually get to see a pick on the Sylas. But the thing that's always so rough in these situations is even though Sylas is 7-1, they only have a 150 gold bounty on them, so they can actually take really risky fights and not worry about giving too much over to the side of Solary. So that is kind of, I mean, the bounty system is very, very flawed. Look at the Bows, for example. He just abuses it like crazy and, what, rank 3 peak? So the bounty system is slowly becoming insufferable, but we'll see. Okay, I mean, yeah. Okay, so there's game one. Like, again, I think that they weren't prepared for this Sylas R5, and the Malphite blind was really, really rough. This is a best of 3, so today is 2 best of 3s, and I think tomorrow is 3 best of 3s, I think. So yeah, we'll go into the next one. But, I mean, really good play from the side of Sea. Like, Ash of War, she absolutely popped off this game. Like, absolutely popped off. Anybody that was saying that she's an on main, on one trick, on player, they definitely messed it up. I mean, this was really good. I enjoyed this game. Let's have a look. So